good evening everyone. Welcome to, oh, hang on, press the right button, you might be actually to see me. There I am, hello. Hello everybody, welcome to Keyboard Skills Pro. My name is Tom, and if you're joining us maybe for the first time tonight, we're having a fun live stream this evening, and this evening's live stream is part of a whole series of Christmas videos, fun music concerts, hints and tips, a massive library, I think almost a musical advent calendar, if you will, of things that we're doing over this month. And it's a great pleasure to have your company this evening for an organ, keyboard, piano question and answer session. So if you've got any questions about any thing with your Christmas songs, I'm going to be giving you some hints and tips that I've got planned. We've already got a few questions that have been sent in. Well, I say a few, one, but we might have some more, I'm sure, coming in on the chat. So you've got any questions about, you know, how do I make Silent Night sound better? How do I link songs together? What's good sounds to use on this carol? You know, anything like that. And I'll be more than happy if I can to answer the question for you. So let's just say a quick few hellos, because we've got quite a few people tonight on the chat already. And we've got young Rob up in somewhere, I can't remember where Rob lives actually, or up north somewhere, Rob, aren't you? Yes. Anyway, Rob's a student of mine and someone we've got to know in recent times, lovely gentleman. And he said, I don't have any questions yet, so maybe something will come up. But thanks, Rob, so much for joining us. We've got David, way down south in Penzance, enjoying his lovely Ringway organ. We've got good friend Trevor Bunce, good friend of the channel, from a very cold Normanby village. Yes, it is cold at the moment, isn't it? It was very windy today. I was at school today, and my last week of teaching before next week, when we would have been having all our carol services. Unfortunately, all of that has been cancelled in view of recent events that are going on. So unfortunately no Norwich Cathedral this year, but we will be back next year apparently. But we are going to do a little outside carol service with all the students outside in the nice fresh air, and we're going to have the choir and the band, and I'm going to be on the piano playing some carols, so that's something to look forward to next week. Carrie Ho, hello Carrie, another one of my students up in Edinburgh. And that's kind of diametrically opposite geographically, isn't it? We've got David down in Penzance, Carrie up in Scotland. On my way home, see you later. Sounds good, Carrie. Barry Gregory from down in the east area of Kent. Good to see you, Barry. Welcome. Steve, also up in Edinburgh. Welcome, sir. Thank you ever so much for being with us. Harold from a snowy Bavaria. Oh, Harold, you've got real Christmas weather, as you very much say. Hello, Steve. Steve and Pat are on from Cambridgeshire. Welcome, Steve and Pat. Thank you very much, and hope you are okay. Yep, doing all right. We've got, oh, hello, Cordell Ambrose, V-O-A-F-Y-I. V-O-A. I don't know what that means, but anyway, hello, welcome, whoever you are, welcome to the channel. Keith, hello, Keith, and Susan down in Essex, welcome, we trust you are well and looking forward to Christmas. Well, I am, I'm trying to. Oh, Rob's put Gateshead, Tom. Gateshead, that's the place. Well done, Rob. And Norman, hello everyone. I'm here but can't talk because I'm driving. Norman, bless him, Norman and Dawn. Norman's very hard worker, so he's listening hard, I'm sure. Yes, no, it's good to hear from everyone. And as I say, thank you so much for being with us this evening. So any questions, do feel free to pop them in the chat. Not you, Norman, because you're driving. So we've got a question from Philip. I don't know if Philip's on yet. He might be joining us in a bit. Probably Philip might be watching a bit later. But Philip Russell, one of my patrons on patron.com, has asked a question about something about descant parts in these carols, like Hark the Herald and things. So we'll have a look at that in a while. But for starters, let me kick off with the topic. Oh, Alan Robinson's just joined us. Hello, Alan. Very happy Christmas to you as well from a very wet Leeds. Poor Alan, it's always wet up in Leeds. I've got my little notes here, look, with some ideas on. I was sketching out a few ideas. And the first little topic I'm going to give you some hints and tips on. This might be just while some of you are having a think about some ideas and some topics and things like that, maybe for questions. But if you just want to sit and listen, please do. And don't forget, all our live streams are always available on the channel after they've finished. So they stay on the channel as a permanent video, and I know a lot of people do obviously watch these a little later. Now, of course, at this time of year, we are coming to the point where we get out our Christmas books, or we get out our Christmas music on our iPads and things, tablets and so on, and we sit down and we tend to play I've often noticed, and I'm a bit guilty of this, we tend to play the songs in the same way. So, for example, if I was playing Silent Night, I would choose a waltz. Etc, etc. We know how that one goes. And if I was playing maybe, I don't know, let's say Sleigh Ride, I would probably pick a Christmas swing, because our modern organs and keyboards have these Christmas styles in. On some machines like Yamahas and Versis, you can add style files into the instrument. And of course we have the usual. Okay, or if we're playing, I don't know, something else like rocking around the Christmas tree, we would go for a rock and roll. But the thing there is, of course, we are still using, I'm going to see if I can do something clever here for a moment. Yes, I can do picture in picture. Hey, there you go. It's quite hard to do these live streams. You have to work the buttons, make sure the internet's still working, play the keyboard, talk. Who said men can't multitask, girls? But can you see there that all those songs, those pieces, we played them with the kind of the standard go-to. So in other words, if I was playing Winter Wonderland, let's say, I would probably pick a big band style, because that would make sense, wouldn't it? The problem is, though, all the songs sound the same every year. And the problem with Christmas songs, there's not a lot of new Christmas songs being written. I mean, I was having a chat with someone at school, one of my fellow music teachers today, and I was saying, I said, I can't remember the last time we had a real good thumping Christmas anthem come out. And it's very much a thing of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, been a few in the 90s and thousands, but you know, it's always those classics that we go back to. So, if we're going to play those classic numbers, those carols, those favourite ones, let's make them sound a little different. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the choices of maybe sounds, but more importantly, if you're playing the organ and the keyboard, the style rhythm that you actually choose, okay? So, for example, let's say we were doing Once in Raw David City. Now, Once in Raw David City, traditionally, would be played on a church organ. So let's get a little chapel organ up. Okay, maybe a bit bigger. Okay, so that's nice. That sounds okay. But that's kind of how we normally hear that. We might play orchestra, but normally we hear carols, of course, as you know, in a church situation. So let's take Once in Raw David City. We know it's a 4/4 piece, but let's pick something in 4/4, but something that won't kind of bruise the music, but will make it sound a little different. So I'm going to go to my ballroom section here on my keyboard, and I'm going to pick a rumba. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's use an introduction. Okay, so that's sounding pretty nice. So how could we improve on that? Well, I think we should first of all pop in maybe a change of tempo. So let's just drop that back ever so slightly, because I was fighting the rhythm a little bit there. That's about 95. Okay, about 95 on the tempo. And you see, that sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, so there we go. So that's quite pretty, I think. And you can see that is different, but it sounds pleasant. So we're not kind of going too far off the beaten track, but we've given that a completely different style. So that's Once in Royal David City there, folks, as a rumba. But you could also try a bossa nova. You could try a beguine, maybe something like that, perhaps. So very nice, I think. Silent Night. Now, Silent Night is, of course, a waltz, and it goes along with the very last Christmas, or very first Christmas of all, Way in a Manger, you know, all those kind of tunes. And of course, these songs we're going to be hearing in 2 weeks' time, don't forget. Oh, by the way, I mentioned at the beginning that we have this in. Hang on, let me go back to full screen for a moment. I mentioned we have this whole program for 2021 of events, and we started Friday last week with Sleigh Ride, Leroy Anderson's perennial Christmas favourite, played in theatre organ style. On Tuesday, yesterday, we had a 2-minute tip, which was called Cadences, for your carols. So that's worth watching. Wednesday, tonight, we are doing our live stream. Friday this week, we've got a bit of a treat, a festive silent film show, where I'm playing 3 silent films, 2 of which I can guarantee you've never seen before, because I haven't seen them before. And just finishing that off this week, and we've also got a lovely Laurel and Hardy as well, so that's going to be good fun. And then there'll be, the following week, there'll be another sort of musical Christmas event. Is the silent film this week, or is it next week? I can't remember. It might be next week now I come to think of that. Anyway, it's all on the channel. It's coming up. But basically, on every Friday, there'll be an event. Every Tuesday and Wednesday fortnight. But we're also going to do December the 24th. We're going to have a little carol sing-along for those of you who maybe won't be able to go, obviously, with things going on today as they are. Maybe some of you won't want to go to midnight mass or to Christingle services. So I thought we'd have a little carol sing-along. We'll try and have the words on the screen. We'll have a little bit of music on New Year's Eve as well, and it's going to be great to spend some time with you over this month. And if you haven't actually subscribed to my channel yet, and now's a good time to hit that subscribe button and ding that Liberty bell on the main channel page, because that means you get a notification of whenever I put a message up on YouTube or I'm doing live things like this. Hey, Peter Steen, welcome, sir, from Cumbria. Peter's joined us. Evening, I hope you're well at RN. And Carrie is home in Edinburgh. Good to see you, Carrie. Carrie's sent another student of mine. We've got quite a few of my online students here. Rob and Steve and Barry, who's joining us. He's about to start as well. So it's really appreciate all that everyone's taking an interest in what we're doing. So where were we? Silent Night. So Silent Night is a 3/4. So let's take the 3/4 song and maybe do it as a slow swing. Okay, a slow swing. Now, the big question always pops up is, well, hang on a minute, how do you play a 3/4 song in 4/4? Well, all you do, really simply, you just add a little bit to one of the notes in the bar. Which note you add it to varies, but it's a kind of a thing you feel. You feel, and if I make that just a little longer, or maybe that one a bit shorter, it will work. So let's try a slow swing with Silent Night. Okay, so you can see how that works, can't you? So what I was doing there, instead of going Silent Night, 2, 3, da 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 da, as we do in the waltz, I was going Silent Night, you know. So 2 beats there, you see. 1, 2, and 3. Da, 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 da. Now, if you've got sort of 3 notes, there's a useful rhythmic device called a triplet. So you go ba, ba, pineapple. So you fit 3 into the time of 2. and that's a very useful thing. So if you play it with a kind of a slightly swingy, what we call a triplet feel, it will work very well. So that was a swing, an easy listening sort of slow swing, about the very late 60s, early 70s in the tempo. Nice breathy tenor. Ah, I think that works nice. A little bit quicker, you see, on some of the notes. 1, 2, and I'm playing there with a rubato style. That means I'm not quite always in time with the music. So that works quite nice. So slow waltzes, switch them to slow swings by adding a little bit to a beat, or by losing a little bit off a beat and using some swingy rhythms. Reverend Tony's on. Hello, Reverend Tony. Good to see you, sir. Good evening. We'll have to catch up later. Thank you, Tony, for popping in. That's very kind of you. Here's another one, folks. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Again, that one would be a kind of a big band number. So let's take it maybe a bit more of a sort of a funky kind of rock kind of thing. Something like this. Now you see there, I was still playing in 4/4, but by making it, that was a kind of a power rock rhythm with the rock organ, the distortion guitars, things like that. That is great, but what you have to do is it's not swingy quavers. Da 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 da. Very even and very even. So that works really nice. JFWO, hello JFW, says Coleman Hawkins couldn't have done it better. Oh, thank you. I presume Coleman Hawkins is a jazz musician. I think I know the name from somewhere. Anyway, thank you for that lovely compliment. Last Christmas. Last Christmas. It's funny, actually. Some of the young kids I teach today are going, oh, I love Last Christmas, for not realising it was from the 80s with Wham. But of course, if we take, you know, this kind of... You know, it's that kind of thing, isn't it? So that's a 4/4, okay? That's a 4/4, and it's going along like that. So what if we then took that rhythm, that style, that count of 4/4, and then did what we did to the Silent Night? So instead of a waltz going to a swing, or a 3/4 going to a 4/4, we take a 4/4 and put it into waltz time. Now, you're probably, again, thinking, well, how's that going to work if there's 4 beats? I can understand getting 3 and stretching it out and bulking and making it 4, but how do you get from 4 to 3? Well, again, it's all about how you attack the rhythm, and you'll be able to, how you phrase the melody line. So, for example, let's take a Viennese waltz. Okay. Now, play the first chord of the song, and before you start playing it, sing along with it. Da, 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 da. Now, to start with, it won't fit. But then you have to sort of imagine, well, how would I make it fit? Da, 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 da. And I'm always aiming for that first beat. Da, 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 ba, 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 da, 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 da. Okay, so let's try that then. That's just a bit slower, maybe. Good evening, Douglas. Welcome, sir. Could have been a melody by Strauss. Okay, strange how it works, isn't it? So hello Douglas Watts, welcome Douglas, thanks for your call earlier, and I thought you got my message that I replied to, but thank you so much for that. So there we go, so Once and Raw Davis City, instead of playing it as a carol on the church organ's hands, play it with a rhythm style as a rumba or a bossa nova. Silent Night, instead of a swing or freestyle 3/4, swing, sorry, get it right for my next drink, instead of a waltz or a freestyle, put it with a slow swing rhythm. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, instead of the swingy rock and roll or big band style, go for a more of a straight power rock. Okay, do 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 dum da 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 dum. And Last Christmas, a more poppy number, take that to 3/4 with the Viennese waltz. So there we are. I think that sounds very, very nice, and some nice ideas there. So, and also what it will do, get you, you know, those of you guys who've got your Ringway organs, your Lowry organs, your Yamaha keyboards, whatever, your Verses. There are loads of styles in every category. I mean, there's so many. I mean, on this keyboard, if I press swing and jazz, I've got 1, 2, 3 pages of swing and jazz styles. If you go to a Lowry marquee, there's loads of big bands in that category. So it's very easy. We do get into the habit of finding a style or styles that we like, and then we tend to always use those styles. I mean, there's many styles even in a Lowry, over 20 years of playing Lowry organs, that I've never used, or maybe used once and thought, don't want to use that. So, you know, go in and, you know, try it really wacky. You know, why not do, I don't know, Last Christmas with, you know, sort of like a bagpipe style. Do Silent Night as a sort of a, you know, a really ethereal ballad. Take Santa Claus is Coming to Town, do it as a country and western bluegrass. I don't know, you know, explore it and let me know with an email or maybe a recording. Send it through to the website tomhorton.co.uk with some of your ideas that come up. So there we go, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed some ideas there. Now, our next question comes from one of our patrons, which is Philip. And I'd like to say thank you so much for Philip. Philip actually runs his own little business. He's a freelance education provider, and he does one-to-one tuition with students on GCSE science and A-levels and physics and all that kind of stuff. But he actually runs his own YouTube channel where he conducts fun science experiments. It's a very interesting channel, some very interesting experiments he does on there, and all good fun. But as my lovely patrons, I did put on a recent post, if you ask a question and you're a patron, it will definitely get answered above everybody else's. This was the only one I had so far, it gets priority, but there we are. So the question is, actually I've got it on the screen here, actually, on my iPad, and Philip said, where was it? There it goes. He said, yes, hello Tom, Christmas Q&A question. I enjoy playing many carols on the organ, and I think actually Philip actually plays for church services, actually playing the tune, but in many cases of carols there is a thing called a descant. At church the organ plays the verse, but some of the singers sing a different tune to the descant. So can I play the descant instead, but it isn't now the tune? So how do you play the tune enough so it's recognisable, but also get the descant, for example, in O Come All You Faithful? Yeah. So first of all, we better just explain for the non-initiated in the world of carols and church services what a descant is. Well, you've probably heard of a descant recorder, and descant it basically means outside the music. That's kind of what the meaning is. It means it's above the tune and the harmony. Normally, it's the very highest part in an arrangement. In fact, unusually, as a counter melody line, it doesn't sit within the counter melody area. Let me just pause for a moment, folks. I'm going to move over to my virtual organ, and we're going to load up a virtual church organ, and I'll show you on the screen how that works, and I'll talk to you in just a second on that. A good time to stretch your legs. I'll be back in about a minute. Thank you. So there we go, everybody. Welcome back, folks. And that, of course, was Hark the Herald Angels Sing. First of all, played in the normal kind of verse that we recognise. And after that, we had what we call the descant arrangement. So how does it work in... Sorry, make sure my volume's good there. So how does it work with that kind of thing? So first of all, I'm going to play you just the first opening verse of Hark. And we can hear the tune. Okay, so that's what is called a four-part carol, four-part harmony, and it involves having four parts: soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Now, the organist will use those four notes, those four parts over two staves, and will probably use the bass line, the bass singer's line, to play a pedal. So Philip says, when I then play the descant of that, which of course was composed and arranged by the very famous organist David Willocks, born 1919, this glorious version that he came up with. Now you can hear there, the thing is that the tune is not quite so prevalent as it was before. And what the soprano, of course, descants are really a soprano's best friend because they use the very, very highest notes of their register. And so this is what the soprano would be singing. So you can see it kind of bears a resemblance to the tune, but it then doesn't sound like the tune. What makes it cling to the tune a bit more is the core harmonic structure underneath. So if I play that and sing over the top, da da da. I was going to hear myself. Da 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 da. So it still follows the same chord structure that we know, but a descant is often written and composed by someone, sometimes an organist, maybe a choir master, someone like a composer like Vaughan Williams maybe, and then it is arranged so there is a high descant part. And what basically, as we said at the beginning, a descant really is, it's like a counter melody, but instead of being within the tune, so normally if you're playing, you know, that stuff I'm playing there, that is a counter melody, look. But you can still hear on the top, you can still hear the actual tune in the actual melody. So so when you actually play the descant, what we call the descant verse, it's normally the final of a carol. So if there's 3 verses, it will be the 3rd verse. If it's 5, it will be the 5th verse. And it's normally a way of, you know, having a brilliantly big sound, full organ, orchestra, full choir, and the sopranos and the trebles will sing this glorious thing. So to sort of roughly answer Philip's question, you will, if you are playing a descant part, you will probably have it already written out, and it's written out in such a way that the harmonic progressions are similar, the chords are similar to the original tune. It's fairly faithful, but the melody line will be different because it is harmonising with this counter melody style descant part, which is going over the top. If you're wanting to do something different yourself, where they are playing, you have to sort of make a sort of a decision on what it is you're actually going to do. So if I was playing, say, Silent Night, I might do some harmonic changes like this. But you can see we can still hear the tune. If there was a confident soprano in the congregation, she might say, do you mind if I, or maybe a musical friend, do you mind if I do a little bit of improvising around you? She could go, silent night, da 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 da. If I was composing a descant, I mean, there is actually, you can get, you know, a lot of hymns and carols do have these descant arrangements, but normally, like I say, it's the final verse. So in Hark the Herald there are 3 verses, so if I finish the first verse, second verse, sorry, and then I'll go into and then we go into our descant full organ. Actually, get a bit more on the older bass there, I think. There we go. A little bit of tuba there. That sounds good. What have I got on going on there? I've got. That's better. Right, here we go. And. And then we have full organ at the end. Now you can see that that is composed in such a way that it gives this wonderful, almost angel-like, heavenly lift to the music. And of course, the sopranos and the trebles who are singing that descant, the sopranos mostly, will sound almost angelic through. And of course, it will swamp the the entire space of the cathedral or the large church. So that's kind of the thing, Philip. Is if you're going to play a descant, it's best to try and locate the music, the sort of the official known version, and play that. So you then will work with whatever the soprano line. So normally descants are composed, but if you want to sort of work around singers who are maybe improvising, you can go sort of a little bit freer in your own harmonic ideas, changing the chords and the pedals, but still sort of following the basic construct of the song. It's a bit like improvising in jazz. The basic song is still there, but that's sort of how it goes. Hello, Philip. Philip's just joined us, my dear boy. I've just been telling everyone about how to play descant, so maybe you can watch this a bit later. Tom McCauley said, I was following along to Hark the Herald in my hymn book. Well done, Tom. Yes, welcome Tom from Melton Mowbray. Carrie Ho's put, hi Tom, can you demonstrate the pedal for walking in the air as well? Yes, I think we can do that. Let's just press a button or two here. So I'm going to go back to my virtual theatre organ and let's bring this back up. Don't know why we're whistling the Mr. Ben theme there. Anyway, so if I was playing Walking in the Air, I'd probably do, Carrie, just what we call the fish and chip rhythm, which is bum, bum, bum. So it's 1, 2, and 3, rest. Something like that, maybe. Bit of walking there. Carrie and I have been studying walking bass recently in our online organ lessons. It's amazing, actually, the number of people who I'm teaching now online. I think I've got about 20 online students who I teach around the world. Some live, some through pre-recorded methods, and I've got students in America, Germany, Belgium, England, Scotland, all over the place having one-to-one online lessons either through Zoom or, as I say, through pre-recorded, and it's wonderful to have the support of so many lovely people. So quite a few people on tonight, like Carrie. And so Carrie and I have been working on our arrangement of the James Bond theme, and we've been working on walking bass. So Carrie, you could, if you wanted to, instead of just doing bum 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 all the time, you could do this if you wanted. So what I did there, I went A, B, C sharp. You could actually do some walking up, you see. Da da da, da da da. I was thinking about the rhythm there. Just put a bit more pedal on the bottom there. Give that a bit more juice. There we go. So da da da. So I'm going 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Da da da. And walk down. Da da da. So I'm going D, 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 C, B, A, G, 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 and C. So you could actually blend a little bit of that dotted pedal pattern. So it's dotted crotchet, quaver, crotchet, and that's what I call the fish and chip rhythm. Rest. Rest. But you could, in that middle section, go stepping up there. Look, do, 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 C sharp, D, C, B, G, A, G rather. I can't play and talk at the same time. Sometimes you can put an extra one in, da, 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 G, C, because you want 2 bars of C there. We don't want to stay on the same pedal, just going da, da, da. We want to go G, 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 sorry, C, 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 G, C. So we can use that 4th beat as like a sort of a stepping stone kind of thing. Hey gang, as we are 45 minutes through and coming up to the last topic I've got to talk about in a few minutes, if we get no more questions, of course. But thanks for Philip's question earlier on descants, and as I hope Philip, I've shed a little light on that, some ideas. So perhaps you can watch that a bit later, and hopefully some of you watching getting some ideas. But let's just play a little Christmas song for a little breather. Here we go. Oh, that's a pretty tune, isn't it? The very first Christmas of all. I learned that years ago. And we'll feature that in a couple of weeks in our Mega Music live music concert in 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, so that's kind of how that all works. And thanks to Carrie there for your question, and also to Philip, all about descants and things. I say, just if you just you know, type in to Google, you know, what is a descant part, and you know, the internet has got some wonderful web pages and teachers and things out there who are doing this this kind of thing to. Oh, press the right button, Tom. It would actually help. There we go. Too many buttons. Only 4 buttons. I still can't get them right. So there we go. Anyway, so thanks, Tom. It's such great fun, says Carrie, walking in the air and the pedal line, eating fish and chips. Yeah, don't do it at the same time. Don't eat and play the pedals. Although I would be very impressed if you could. So there we go, folks. Well, everybody, it's been a great pleasure to have your company this evening. To finish off with, I've had a few requests lately on the YouTube chat and on the comments and things asking me, could I provide some hints and tips on how to play counter melodies on keyboards and organs, but when you're using automatic styles. In other words, your chords are just being played on the left hand. So, for example, let's take I've got my little sheet here with some notes on. Let's take our popular tune, Jingle Bells. Okay, so jingle bells, jingle all the way. And what should we go for? Let's go for a foxtrot, and I'll set the tempo. Let's find something that sounds pretty decent. Little saxophone section there, so that works quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to play the tune once through, and then I'm going to play on the top of, after that, a different version where we will hear some counter melodies, not on the left hand, because the left hand is playing on chords, but you'll hear them on the right hand. Let's see what that comes out like. Here we go. There we go. So that's how that works. Now, we're not going to be able to cover all of this in tonight's particular thing, but we will do some more on right-hand counter melodies, because counter melodies tend to be on a left-hand thing. And I'm going to sketch out this arrangement of Jingle Bells and pop it as a bonus PDF on my Patreon channel. So for those of you who support Keyboard Skills Pro, my YouTube channel, on patreon.com/Keyboard Skills Pro, and you get access from silver level or above. You get access to bonus videos, and more importantly, these PDF sheets, which have got all the hints and tips to go with the music lessons that we do on the channel. Oh, Tracy Griffith has just joined us. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for being with us. And David's put down in pens out, thanks for another wonderful evening. You deserve a large gin and tonic. Thank you, David. You've obviously had enough, and he's off. Hopefully you'll stay with us for a few more minutes. But thank you, David. Most kind. Actually, there is a rather nice gin inside the house. I might indulge on that a little bit. We shall see. We shall see. So, how does this one work then? So we've got the melody, with a saxophone section, let's just say, and we'll show you a little bit of this. So the first thing of Jingle Bells is it goes. Let's do it in C. Now all of that is over a C chord. Look. So what makes that more interesting is to add a counter melody. Now, a counter melody hasn't got to go even though that does sound pretty awesome. It can just be a holding note. So, for example, I'm going to play a middle C with my thumb look. Jingle bells. Then I'm going to drop to a B. Jingle bells. Then A. Jingle all the... And then I'm going to go down to G, A, B flat. Now, when I'm holding these notes, what this would be written like, it would be crotchet, crotchet, minim. But underneath that, I'd have a semi-breathe. Now, I've got to start the semi-breathe, the 4-beat note, with the first note of the melody. And then I've got to hold my thumb down like this. So instead of playing them together, which you could do, it's more effective if you make the bottom note sound like a different instrument. Then the next bar, look, drop it to B, drop it to A, and then hold the E in the melody, but start with a G, A, B flat. Now, how do I know to play that B flat? Well, because the next chord in the song is an F chord. And this is the thing we talked about in the video that's coming up, which is Christmas chords, which we've took an arrangement, worked an arrangement, I should say, on Silent Night, introducing lots of harmonies. And again, there's going to be a bonus PDF for that. The piano part's going to be written out because we do it on the piano, but there will be chord symbols, so you can play that with the treble clef on the melody on the organ and the keyboard. So we always try and make the PDFs as generic as possible. So with that melody, that sounded quite nice then, didn't it? Because it was going... So I'm holding a long note whilst the other notes above it are busy. If the main melody note is long, like at the end of the phrase, I want some busy notes underneath. Like that, you see. Okay, here's the next bit. So I'm going to hold an A, which is one of the notes of the F chord. And I'm going to hold that with my Fs playing on the top look. Then go to G. And then I'm going to do 2 on each of these. I'm going to use an A and a C. Like I'm going to go da, 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 da. B and D, 1, 2, and then down to up to G. So I'll keep my B down. 1. Okay, so watch all that again. Here we do in slow motion. Look, C with the E's. Drop to the B. Then go down another one to A, so it's going down. And then G, A, B flat. That drops to A with the Fs. And then a C chord's going to come in, so we play a G. Then there's normally a D chord, a D7 there, so we'll do an A. All these notes are from the chord on the left hand. So that's an A with the E and the D. And then I've got a C with the D. And then drop my C to my B as I play the D, G chord. Da, da. There you go. So altogether that sounds like this. Okay, that sounds good, doesn't it? Now, you can do that on any song, and you basically have to split your hands. So your thumb and maybe your bottom finger become the counter melody fingers, and your top 4 or 3 fingers are reserved for the melody line. Now, you don't have to do that all the time. I sometimes do that. I use counter melodies on my left hand, but I do it on a second playthrough, because if you put everything, as the old saying goes, if you put everything in the shop window at once, it's not very effective. So, for example, let's take that again, and let's play. What's Tracy saying? That's my niece that I'm holding. She's 8 months old. Oh, lovely. Oh well, hello, little 8-month-old niece. How wonderful, Tracy. Lovely you're getting to spend some time with her. Hope she's not keeping everyone up at night, as my 2 children sometimes like to do, even though they are 8 years and 4 years old. Josh and Abigail, of course, are getting horrendously excited because, of course, it's the festive time of year. For those who don't know, I've got 2 children and a wife. Yeah, so the Christmas decorations went up on the 1st of December. The children were very insistent about that, and we've got every bauble accessory you can possibly think of hanging from the tree. Plus, we are also doing the elf on the shelf thing. So every morning the elf is, and you're just getting settled in bed. The missus goes, "Did you do the elf?" Oh God, up we go. Trevor and I were talking about this the other day, but the kids like it, and Josh was even inventing his own scenario. So the other day we had the elf on the clock hands in the living room with loads of police cars underneath trying to talk him down. Something like that anyway. But there we go. So I completely forgot what I was talking about that. Yeah, so play it through once, just as the tune. Then, on the second time through, play the counter melody underneath, and it will sound absolutely brilliant. So, or maybe with jingle bells, because there's a verse, isn't there? Let's play the verse with no chords, no additions. Let's just go for a straight melody. Here we go. Single notes. And then let's add our counter melody. Okay, so obviously we had to do a little bit of a change at the end there because, of course, the music was different. So if you'd like to get that whole arrangement, gang, all you've got to do is get onto Patreon, and say there's loads of PDFs on there, there's even bonus videos, things that we do just for patrons, and there's going to be some patron-only videos over this Christmas month. So there we go, everybody. All interesting stuff. Thank you those of you who asked questions and sent them in. Really appreciate that. Hopefully we've taught you something there. You know, maybe there's some ideas that you'll be able to put into your festive songs, and indeed the songs that come after Christmas that we play all the way through the year. This thing of sharing musical ideas and suggestions, I think, is a really nice idea to do, and it's a pleasure for me to come here this evening and provide you with an hour of hopefully entertainment and education which you've enjoyed. As we're going towards the Christmas time of year, if you feel like you'd like to contribute a little something to this free evening which we've presented, it's nice for folks to treat themselves maybe to a music book or an audio CD via my website, tomhorton.co.uk, and I've just launched my new keyboard book, Power On, which is really nice. It's got new music for organs and pianos. There's my theatre organ book. There's 3 piano books in the pianistic series, and I've also got recordings, CD albums on Wurlitzer, Lowrey, and Yamaha electronic organs. So if you fancy, like I said, a little tip for the evening, just to help me feed my children on Christmas Day. Would love to get some support from you. But thank you so much for watching and for sharing your company with me. Please do stay safe with everything that's been going on this evening. But hopefully, I mean, looking at sort of what's going on, it's not hopefully going to make too much difference at the moment. But, you know, let's see what happens over the coming weeks and months. But we will carry on here online. Lessons will carry on. You know, shops are staying open at the moment. So it's all looking positive, I think, in the hopefully in the grand scheme of things, but you know, we'll be all getting our jabs and everything and things like that, and so let's stay safe and support each other, and keep playing the music, because it's a wonderful tonic and a wonderful way of relieving stress and losing yourself, and so this is so much fun for me to come in here and spend some time, and thank you to all of you for giving up an hour of your evening. One or two folks saying thank you so much. David and Rob, thanks Tom, very entertaining. Thank you Rob, we'll catch up soon with our next lesson. And yeah, so let's finish off everybody with something, I don't know what, you're going to hear some of these tunes in about 2 weeks, so you need to forget them. Let's just do a little bit of Winter Wonderland to take us out. And thank you so much, everybody. And so don't forget, hit subscribe, check out the website, tomhorton.co.uk, and we will see you very soon. But don't forget, this Friday on the channel, there will be something cool going on. It's either the Silent Night Chords thing or the silent film thing. I can't remember which one it is. It's got silent in the title. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you soon, and bye-bye.